Ayubowan. Hello, my children. Hope you all are doing well. Today, I'm going to introduce you the first lesson of the third midterm. Search for My Tongue by Sujata Bath. Objectives of the presentation are to get to know the background of the poet, to know the hidden meaning of the title of the poem, to identify the main theme of the poem, analysis of three stanzas, to know the structure, language, and other themes of the poem. Now, let's move on to the background of the poet. She is Sujata Bath. She is an Indian poet. Uh, so during her childhood, and she emigrated to America. During her childhood, she mainly spoke an Indian dialect called Gujarati, but moved to a culture dominated by the English language after her family traveled to USA. So after she traveled to USA, she used to speak in English language. So this experience, her personal experience uh, of moving between different languages can clearly be seen in the poem Search for My Tongue. Search for my tongue. According to you, why the poet wanted to put a title like Search for My Tongue? Okay, let's discuss about this. Now I highlighted some letters and some words in red. I'll tell you what's the reason. The letters M and T are also capitalized to show their importance. My tongue, T. The poet feels that it is hers. So that's why she's telling my belongs to her. And tongue could be talking about a language or an important part of her that has gone missing. So she according to the poet, she is telling something important has gone missing from herself. So we'll see what what is that about. And also when you are learning, when you are learning in the other slides, you will get to know what is this about. And tongue has two different meanings. One is it symbolizes mother tongue. So here the tongue means the poet wanted to mention the language. So mother language. So mother tongue, it means the language that you grew up with or the first language you learn to speak. The other different meaning of the word tongue is foreign tongue. It means a language spoken by people who are not from your native country. Not only that, when you go back to the beginning of the uh, topic, what's the word? Search. So S. The letter S has been capitalized to show the impression that the poet is looking for something she lost, that she was lost and is important to her. So it hints now, search, we are searching something. If why we are searching something? Because which was missing is really important for us. So that's why we were going on searching. If not, we are not searching, right? So that is the theory behind this topic. So it hints that the poem is a very sensitive topic for the poet. So we'll see what is this about. Main theme of the poem. It describes a struggle of a person embracing a new culture and also the desperation to hold the mother tongue. Shall we read the first stanza together? Are you ready? Okay. You ask me what I mean by saying I have lost my tongue. I ask you, what would you do if you had two tongues in your mouth and lost the first one, the mother tongue, and could not really know the other, the foreign tongue? You could not use them both together, and if you thought that way, and if you lived in a place you had to speak a foreign tongue, your mother tongue would rot and die in your mouth until you had to spit it out. I thought I spit it out, but overnight, while I dream. Alright, the poem starts with a question that immediately goes to the core of the issue that the poet is addressing in this poem. So, what's the issue? The fear that she has lost her ability to speak in her mother tongue. So how she emphasizes her issue? She makes the poem more personal by directly addressing the reader, you and I. And also she invites us to consider her situation by asking what I ask you, what would you do? And she uses a demanding and forcing the reader to take note of what she has to say about the language and identity. In the second line, it says, I have lost my tongue. What do you mean by that? Can you speak if you lost your tongue? No. Your ideas, your feelings are expressing tongue helps you to express. So the meaning is lost voice could mean isolation in a new culture. So that's her experience that she really wanted to tell us. If you had two tongues in your mouth and lost the first one, the mother tongue, and could not really know the other, the foreign tongue. So now again, she is asking a question from us. Now, that is my experience. Now, again, I'm asking from you, if you are speaking two languages and lost the first one, the mother tongue, and could not really know the other, the foreign tongue. So, the original language is associated with being nurturing, protecting, loving. Lost the first one. The second language is seen to be alien, means new, foreign tongue. The poet feels it is not possible to fully understand or become completely part of another culture. So that's the idea of these highlighted lines. Tongue as a metaphor for language is used throughout the poem, extended poem. And if we go back to the highlighted line, the last first one, the mother tongue. So the mother tongue, the foreign tongue, can be considered as a contrast. It means close links to identity with something alien, something new. You could not use them both together even if you thought that way. And if you lived in a place, you had to speak a foreign tongue. So the speaker feels that her surrounding environment does not nurture cultural differences. Again, it shows us how identity is important to the speaker. Your mother tongue would rot and die in your mouth. What do you mean by that? Rot. So rot, it's an imagery of death. So your mother tongue would rot and die in your mouth means the poet uses not only imagery, rot, but the personification to compare the mother tongue to human. So it develops sense of belonging, depicts the fact more realistic to reader. And also, until you had to spit it out, I spit it out. So T. So it's a harsh consonant sounds mirror the struggle, fight that she has with these two languages. Now she really wanted, though she is in a foreign country, she wanted to speak her mother language. So she has that struggle within herself. But overnight while I dream. Now here you can see she doesn't uh, put a full stop. Continue. So continuous thing. So every night while I'm dreaming about all these things. So she finishes the first part by saying if you lived abroad, your first language would die apart from your dream. Stanza you can see the poet has written Gujarati language in between the English language. Why? Do you have any idea what would be the reason? That is to show that the speaker still loves her mother tongue and she can't get rid of it. And the reason she puts brackets, did you observe that she uses within brackets? Right. So the reason she puts brackets underneath her Gujarati is because she wants us to feel how she felt when she was forced to use another language. So that is the reason that she puts brackets. Not only that, but also she realizes that her mother tongue, her Gujarati, is with her. Still, she loves her mother tongue. So it makes up what she is. It gives the identity. So no matter what she does, her Gujarati will stay with her. So this stanza proves her identity and her actually she loves her how she love actually how much she loves her mother tongue. So it elaborates us the reader's thoughts, feelings. Shall we read the third stanza together? It grows back, a stump of a shoot, grows longer, grows moist, grows strong veins. It ties the other tongue in knots. The bud opens in my mouth. It pushes the other tongue aside. Every time I think I have forgotten, I think I have lost the mother tongue, it blossoms out of my mouth. Okay, now according to this stanza, the speaker or the poet realizes that her mother tongue can't be forgotten. So she starts getting excited. So how she has shown her excitement from the words, it grows back, grows longer, grows moist, grows strong winds, and the bud opens. The bud opens. So what actually she used to show her excitement? The repetition. So the repetition of grow and bud open shows the intensity and power of the mother tongue as it forms again, therefore implying how quickly she remembers her mother tongue. And then when we go back to the first line of the stanza, we can see that there is an extended metaphor. So the speaker uses an extended metaphor of a plant growing to signal the value she places on her mother tongue. It grows back a stump of shoot. So this reflects the idea of natural growth of identity. And then in the third line, she says it ties the other tongue in knots. What do you mean by that? The two languages are imagined as being in battle, mother tongue and foreign tongue, with the invader being defeated. So clearly this can be seen in refer to the powers and the independence. And also, every time I think I have forgotten, I think I have lost the mother tongue. Though I have forgotten and though I lost my mother tongue, now what can I see? It blossoms out of my mouth. So the first language, the culture is shown to be lasting. And in the flower imagery is thought of here as something natural, beautiful and eternal. So though she had forgotten, though she is thinking that she already had forgotten, no, it was not. Her first language and the culture is shown to be lasting, everlasting. So the word blossoms has connotations of new life and rebirth in this context. And she is remembering her mother tongue. So this is the idea of the third stanza of the poem. Now, don't know whether you observed in this poem, we can see some short lines. So, from short lines, it means though the poem has no set line length, some lines are clearly much shorter than the other. They feel unfinished and end shortly. Now, in the first line, end unfinished, dream. Okay, you can call this as a hypermetric line. An example is the foreign tongue, a short line that conveys the lack of expression the poet has with her new language when compared to her original native language. Okay, and also we can find out long lines. Grows longer, grows moist, grows strong, weans. This line is noticeably longer than the others. It is overextended and amplifies the metaphor of tongue as a plant which grows in size and strength when the speaker least expects it. So, this is also can identify as a hypermetric line. If we talk about the tone of the poem, the poet uses an angry or suspicious tone, as if the speaker does not trust or respect her new language as much as her first language. Okay, now we'll see the language of the poem. It's a free verse. Why it is a free verse? So that that her poem feels just like a lecture, giving her thoughts as they come out of her head. So she writes in the first person I to show this is a personal battle, but also so other readers in the same situation will be able to read it as though it is their personal poem too, right? And the language of the poem is ordinary and conversational. You ask me, I ask you. So it's a conversational type poem. She uses the word tongue in three ways. Firstly, as the physical tongue in her mouth, and secondly, as a mother tongue, but also as a symbol. of her personal identity and Indian culture. And the poem consists of an extended metaphor of her language as a plant. At first, she is worried that it is going to rot and die. It means will dead, that she is forgetting it as she forgets it. But then it grows, shoots, buds, blossoms, representing the poet growing in confidence, remembering Gujarati words, forming them on her lips, and finally speaking them full out fluently in Gujarati. One powerful image is of her tongue rotting in her mouth and her spitting it out, reflecting the horror and disgust that she felt at losing her tongue and Indian identity. The repetition, the bud opens, symbolizes the unstoppableness of the process, but also her excitement that it is happening and that she is refinding her Gujarati identity. So, there are themes apart from the main theme, there are other themes: emigration, language, identity, creativity, memory, and culture. I think we all discuss we already discuss all these themes while we are discussing the three stanzas. Now I would like to give you a self-understanding guide. I know that you are a little bit bored to answer the questions, but believe me, children, this will not be bored to you. Why? I thought of mm, not using the word question because when the question comes to your mind, it means, oh my God, anyhow I have to answer. No, if you can answer to all these questions, it means it will help you to understand the poem. So it will give you the self understanding of the poem Search for My Tongue. So again, go back to the slides and the recording, and also you can refer the student book, and then after referring all the materials, documents, you can, if after you get a very good picture of the poem, you can easily understand these questions and write the answers. Children, I prepared you a model answer to the question given uh, in the above. How is identity important in Search for My Tongue? Compare with one other poem. Okay, now here I highlighted some words in the question. Do you know why? Any idea? Because now normally most of you, what you are doing is you have the habit of just reading the question and then straight away wanted to answer to the question. That is which is really wrong. What you have to do is first you have to read the question very carefully, and then you have to identify what are the keywords in the question. Because why? These keywords will help us to uh, direct us and to come up with a very strong answer. So, according to the question, we'll see what are the keywords. So, the first word is identity. You have to talk about identity. Important. Actually, what do you mean by identity? It's who you are, what you really want, and your skills, abilities that you have. So that's called that's the general idea of identity. So according to this poem, we have to talk about, according to this question, we have to talk about the identity, not only the identity, how it is important in which poem? Search for my tongue. So, do you only have to write search for my tongue? No, there is some other part in this question. That is, you have to compare with one other poem. So these are the keywords that you have to look into. Right. So we'll see what are the points under search for my tongue. The poem explains us, explores the fundamental relationship between the language by showing one's identity. And the poem is written in free verse without any formal rhythm or rhyme scheme. Maybe you have not observed it. This makes the poem feel conversational, where the speaker is imagining that she is in a dialogue. You ask me what I mean. The speaker has a voice of demanding, forcing the listener to take note of what she has to say about the relationship between language and identity. I ask you, what would you do? So, in the second stanza, we can see how she realizes that her mother tongue, Gujarati, is with her. So, it gives and it reflects her identity. It ties the other tongue in knots. It's in the third stanza. So it highlights us after she realizes that her mother tongue can't be forgotten, she starts getting excited. So according to the above example, it shows us how this identity is important in search for my tongue. Not only that, there is an extended metaphor in where the third stanza it grows back a stump of a shoot reflects the idea of natural growth of identity. Uh, and the Gujarati script also forms the central section of the poem, indicating how this language lies at the heart of the poet's identity. I have chosen the one other poem as the half caste because I have seen some familiar things which links with identity and how identity is important in half caste also in half caste poem. So we'll see how identity important in half caste. The poem explores the way that the language can be used to reduce a person's status in society. It, in response to this, the poet brings power over language to assert his mixed race identity. So now he is in half caste, he is speaking about the mixed race. The speaker directly addresses someone who has used the offensive and insulting racial term half caste. Explain yourself, what you mean. So his tone is challenging, even threatening, as he stresses his identity as a whole human being and demands that readers should change their attitudes. When he says, you mean when Picasso mixed red and green is a half-caste canvas, he is arguing that mixing colors is a very good thing and makes things better. And also, like mixing art and music also, it gives some it adds some beauty to the ultimate product. and the language of half caste reflects the speaker's identity. Language is a Caribbean, his language, and English dialect and the phonetic spelling capture the distinct character of speaker's voice. The way that how he wrote the poem, uh, the phonetic spelling capture the distinct character of speaker's voice. So, like by looking at this, you can analyze the points which relevant to the question given in the above. So I hope this will help you to understand much better what I actually mean from the question given. How is identity important in Search for My Tongue, compare with and one other poem. Okay, thank you very much for being with me and watching my presentation. Hope it will helpful to you. Hope to see you soon.